this one hurt. This hurt
Don't
hard.
don't go.
So hard because
Don't go.
we started off and we had to deal with the tragedy of losing Asta and Nina in the very first episode. And all of our hopes, no pressure, but all of our hopes were pinned to you, Quinton and Mattie. And the day we dreaded most, it happened.
Oh,
Depression, y'all.
Yeah.
but you did so good. You did such a good job. You were such a great team.
Exemplary team.
Welcome to the Gaymazing Race.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we like to ask from the beginning, it's just an informational question about what your commitment to the Amazing Race was before you got on it or before you decided to be on it. Like, was there one of you who was always dreaming of being on this show and then you had to finagle a partner to get in on it with you? Was it you, Mattie, or you, Quinton?
I think our love was mutual. Is that a lie? If I'm lying, you can speak on it. But
Well, it was mutual, but Quinton was the one that was approached about the Amazing Race because his story, he's one of the first male cheerleaders in the NFL. And so they liked that story and had been reaching out to him for a couple seasons, I guess. And he finally decided that I would be the best fit to be his partner. And it was all it was so quick after that. As soon as we committed to each other, it was like interview and physicals and medical exams and things like that. And
map reading test and
Really?
Yeah, we studied. I mean, I'm gonna give Mattie credit right now, like a lot of credit. She had Google Docs, she had spreadsheets. She was telling me, hey, you need to watch this season. And I watched a lot of the show just growing up, loved it, loved Uchenna and Joyce and all like the OGs, you know what I mean? But I didn't watch the last couple of seasons, and she was like, you need to watch this one. I like what they did here. We need to watch and just had me on a schedule. And then it sucks that we couldn't watch it together, but I feel like we were on the phone with each other every day. Like, okay, what did you do to get ready for the race? She was doing, she knows how many flags? 100 and something?
197.
197 flags.
Oh.
You know, like we studied. We were in the gym 2 times a day. Like it was a thing.
God. Were there any specific teams or strategies that you were like, okay, we want to run it like these people?
Yeah, we gravitated a lot towards Raquel and Kayla from last season. I think it was their energy together, their friendship, their bond. I think the way they reacted to stress was pretty similar to how Quinton and I did, was you try and you laugh about it, but staying very task oriented and pushing through it without letting it get the best of you, I guess. But the overarching thing with Raquel and Kayla is that their energy was always good. And that's what we wanted for ourselves, because we're very big on energy and giving energy and the energy you receive. So that was our biggest thing in our strategy, was as long as our energy together is good, we will be successful together.
And keep it classy like Danny and Oswald. I loved I remember there was an episode where I think Danny was like, we're not traveling, coach. And I died.
That's him.
They had to basically change the rules after that move because it was so slick and it was so perfect. And then it was like, oh, we have to bar them from booking beyond coach.
Quinton would for sure be that guy.
Yeah. Well, can we ask Mattie, actually, just a quick question. What's your sign? Because I want to know who is what your astrological sign is given your.
Wait, Mattie, can you guess?
Are you Virgo?
I sure am.
I knew it. I'm a Virgo, and I would fully have the charts and the spreadsheets and the reference points ready.
Yes.
So yeah. I guess, which brings us to a question just about this leg of the race. And that is, you didn't really ever get lost. You just took an alternate route. Basically, you took Route 66 instead of I-10. For those Americans who need to know,
yes.
You took the local route through all these villages and not the expressway. Tell us
Wait,
when you
oh,
realized what was happening.
Okay, so starting off, we actually did take the A20, which would be the I-10. It wasn't until we were 2 exits away that there was a split off from the I-10 to Route 66. And Quinton said, which one? And I looked at the map and they both dropped us off at the stadium. To me, it looked like Route 66 was a quicker drop off. So I said, let's go on Route 66. I love that you put it into terms like this because it makes more sense in my brain too. And then from there, we didn't lose that much time. It wasn't like that wasn't our race in that moment, even though once we got off and realized it was a lot slower than where we had just come from, we weren't as behind as we felt in that moment. It was just the stress of going slower than we had been and the thought of like, gosh, there's no room for errors now. You heard us, like we're trying to stay calm, cute, and collected, and right out the gates we make this mistake, and it was really hard to come out of that. It's not over. But then we saw David and Aubrey once we got to the roadblock, so we knew it wasn't over at that point.
It seems like that you really did just cruise through everything else after that. Like you ran a really perfect race the rest of the leg.
Competitors. I always stood by that. I knew for a fact that there's nothing besides, like, I think we talked about eating in cold water, but like there's nothing that we would really struggle with, you know, like we're athletes, we're dancers, our brains are great, we're good at picking up things, good at memorization, like all the stuff you need to be a great racer when it comes to the challenges. For us, it was just the getting there efficiently. That's what
I think also I give us credit as just teammates because a lot of the tasks that we did, aside from dancing, they aren't directly in our line of work. But what we had that was so strong was our trust that even if it wasn't something we have done before, we were really good at, that we will rise to the occasion. And we had full trust that the other person would do it. And there were many examples of that, like when we did the cart in Jordan. Quinton told me going into it, he didn't want to build, but then he did the first building challenge and I didn't want to build either. So after he did one, he felt like he had some experience to do a second one. And that was a new thing that he did. And a lot of people are saying that it was a dance challenge. So of course we got in the top 3. If you didn't see, we left the dance challenge in, I think, 6th or 7th, and Quinton's building skills got us to 3rd. So those things is just
give me my credit.
Yes,
give me my credit.
We spent a considerable amount of time on this podcast talking about how you scooped the tin of nails up with that delicious stretch. So
we were having so much fun. That was a really fun leg, and even like something as fun as rappelling. I know we both wanted to do something really fun and like adventurous, and we saw, I think when we got to that roadblock in Dome, and I was like, oh, that'll be fun. No, Mattie, go do that one. And like, that's not in our wheelhouse. You know what I mean? None of us had ever rappelled before, you know, but even like stuff like that, like we're competitive and we're not afraid to, like you said, rise to the challenge and let's knock it out so that we can go. And I think our biggest thing was that if we lose, cool, but we don't want to disappoint each other. Like, I don't want to let her down and she doesn't let me down. Like that's the worst thing. Like, yeah, if we get stuck somewhere, dope. But like, if we lose because I couldn't do a freaking roadblock and everybody passed me, I would, like, life is over. This sucks. Like I'm sad.
And we really kept, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we really kept the energy for each other too. Like in the roadblocks, the reason Quinton was so happy is because I'm on the sidelines and I'm making him feel good. And that was the same thing opposite when I was sculpting. You didn't see this, but he is standing up where everybody was waiting and like leaning over the ledge watching their partners. Quinton was standing. He was standing and he was singing songs. He was singing Baby Got Back, but he changed the words to instead of big butts, he said big chunks because we had to get big chunks of the sculpture.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was something where we knew like this was our time to shine, and it made it fun. We didn't go into, because roadblocks are very stressful. And there's a huge element of stress as you walk into it. And I think we did a good job of keeping each other from getting to that mindset of, oh my gosh, I don't want to disappoint the other one. Because we were just encouraging each other so hard.
I loved it. I was like, look at them doing mat talk to each other. Look at that. They're making everybody have a good time over there. Yes. Quinton, what is your sign?
Can you guess?
I don't know. I don't know if you're a Leo or a Gemini or a Sagittarius or what.
Leo.
Neither. Me and Maddie are Virgos.
You're a Virgo too?
You're both
2 days
Virgos.
apart, birthday wise.
Well, are you
2 days.
August or September Virgos?
September.
Oh,
He's on the 11th and
fascinating.
I'm on the 13th.
Oh, those are
Now,
good days. Those are
We
great
don't have
days.
much time, or else I would ask you your full charts, because I really want to know what all this fiery, fun energy is that's happening over here.
I
I'm
wanna know
sure.
too.
I'm
Read
sure
me.
that there are moons and rising signs in there, but yeah.
All right. Quinton, in your opinion, what is the gayest thing about The Amazing Race?
Oh, me. I feel like I was the gayest thing on The Amazing Race. Well, I was. So we have this term. Well, I kind of made this term, like when I see a fine man, I'm like, oh, he's a mongoose. And that's like a way, even on the field, me and Maddie would like, I'm like, oh my God, Maddie, mongoose, 12 o'clock. And she'll look and she'll like, yeah, okay, yeah. Like random words, so nobody knows what it means. But even like throughout the entire race, I was like, my camera guy was hot. Adam, shout out. Hey, I don't care. I let him know. We like the policeman that pulled us over in Toulouse. They didn't show that, but he was hot, and I was like, oh my gosh.
He had a crush on one of the security. Just from afar, never spoke to him ever. He was too afraid to, but just every time he's like, mongoose.
Oh, Chris. Shout out to Chris. He's not listening. What was the Austrian?
It's really him. Like that was something going into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, we might not be able to get from point A to point B because his neck's going to be cranked the whole time. And he was shouting it out the whole time. The crews that would run with us would start saying it to him like, hey, Quinton, I think there's a mongoose over there.
I
He was
love
pretty-
it. That is the most Gaymazing thing I think we've heard explicitly about the race. I love that. Except I think that Oswald did tell us a story about how one night they did go out dancing. I think like on some leg in Australia or something when they couldn't get into the hotel or what have you. And so that was really fun.
We couldn't leave, or we would have. I would have been in Italy tearing it up. Like,
Oh,
That probably-
that's just the type of person he is. I need sleep. He needs stimulation. Constant.
Well, that is, you stayed calm, you stayed cool, you stayed cute, you stayed collected, and you stayed mongoosing through the
Yeah.
entire time you were on the race. And that's why, we love how Gaymazing you were this season. We hope that you two have a second chance. I think that truly, if there are teams that we want to see back, of course, we want all the gay teams to come back. We want to see Asta and Nina back. We also want to see our favorite co-ed cheerleaders coming back. And it was a real pleasure to watch you this time around on The Amazing Race.
I can't believe we have to keep watching the season without you. No offense to the whole season, but you're our favorite team.
Thanks, guys. I'm sad too, but we had a lot of fun and I'm glad you guys got to watch our journey.
I was a cheerleader in middle school and I never stopped loving cheerleaders.
yes.
All right, team. We love you. We'll see you next time out. Best of
Don't-
luck with everything you're doing beyond this race, and we'll keep an eye out for your adventures in the future.